Hello, bliss lovers! Welcome to day 5 of the mini challenge to raise your vibration and increase your abundance. You're here with Rebecca. Welcome. We have covered a lot in the last week, in the last 4 days. Initially, we talked about how to think and how to start changing your thoughts so you can change your life. We then looked at your limiting beliefs on Tuesday and how they can impact your success. Wednesday we looked at your intuition and what it means to live in high frequencies of energy. We did the heart coherence exercise to learn how to bring your attention and your focus back into your body and into the intuition center, which is your heart space. And yesterday we looked at what it means to identify the feeling of what it is that you want to create and what that feeling is so you can experience it today and therefore experience the feeling and use the feeling to create your manifestation. So it's a win-win situation. So some of these things may be things that you have heard of before, maybe they're kind of new, but what happens often, right, is it's about embodying it. So what does it take to embody these energies so you are running the energy and the frequency every single day? Now, I am a huge advocate of a daily practice, but that's not what I want to talk to you about today. What I want to talk to you about today is a really crucial element that I see that trips people up with their manifestations time and time again. And that is what it means to be an excellent receiver. Now, why wouldn't somebody be an excellent receiver? Well, we have this thing called free will, and if we've been in a circumstance before where we've received something and it hasn't felt good, or maybe it's felt like there's an obligation attached to it, or again, maybe we have a limiting belief towards it, then we can end up in a space where we're like, I don't want to receive that. Now, you would kind of think that, does this really happen? And yes, it absolutely does, because guess what people also do? They also shut down their intuition. They shut down their awareness because often they feel that truth is painful. So they don't necessarily want to see the truth. So therefore they hold themselves back from complete awareness. Now, higher awareness is going to make it easier for us to get what it is that we want. But if we have a perception that it's painful, then we can shut ourselves off, dumb ourselves down, or hold ourselves back from seeing what is really present. And this definitely happens when it comes to being an excellent receiver. So what we need to start doing again when it comes to being a receiver is start identifying all the times and places where we've received something in the past and we've thought that it has contributed to something that is painful for us, that it has taken us away from pleasure. And also too, this needs to be an incremental process, right? Because I want you to think about this. Do you know of the stories about how people have manifested winning the lottery? And essentially what has happened is, money is energy. So they've received this huge sum of money, which is just basically a huge amount of energy. And then what's happened is because their energetic frequency has been relatively contracted, maybe they haven't been running the energy of like, I'm an amazing receiver, or I am totally abundant, or it's safe, right, and good for me to hold the frequency of this energy of money. Then what happens, right, is you'll often see where people, they don't manage to align their energetic frequency with the frequency and expansion of the money. So then what happens is they end up spending it all and going back to their default blueprint. So what it means to be an excellent receiver is learning how to keep on turning the dial up. Now, what do I see what happens for people? When I start working with people and we start raising their vibration, and then they might manifest something that they previously thought wasn't going to happen, or it was beyond their rational mind, like literally it blows their mind, right? And then they're in a circumstance where like, whoa, that is incredible. But often what happens, right, people have a tendency to go back to what is comfortable and what is familiar, and then they can put a limit on it. I've actually often referred to it as the manifestation blues, right? It's like we've expanded our energy and then we've had this amazing creation, and then there's part of us that goes, oh, am I allowed that? Is that okay? There's got to be some limit. because that's what we experience in the human condition, is all these limitations, right? You can do this, you can't do that, yes, no, stop, go, all those kind of things. But your soul is infinite. Your soul is limitless. Your soul doesn't differentiate between a cup of coffee and a Lamborghini, right? Your soul just wants to expand. So here again, we have the limitation of the personality of the ego bumping up against our divine nature. And here lies the rub. This is why we need to be conscious about being a good receiver. Now, what is a great place to start? A great place to start is through appreciation. Where there are people in your life giving to you at the moment, please say thank you. Right? Be in a place of not just saying thank you and letting it slide off. Like, I want you to think about this. How good are you at receiving a compliment? Are you like, oh, thank you so much, that's really awesome, I really appreciate that? Or taking it into your body and into your heart space? Or does it kind of slide off like Teflon? Right, this often happens when a man gives a woman a compliment, right? And then what happens is, if a woman hasn't really received it, guess what? The man hasn't really felt received, right? If he says to you, you look beautiful, say, thank you so much, I really appreciate that. As opposed to like, oh, do I? And then it just kind of falls away. That's an energetic presence. He's giving you a gift. If you're not receiving the gift, then both people kind of end up feeling a little bit flat. So start through appreciation. So who in your world at the moment can you express appreciation to? Who is it who means something to you that you can ring up and contact and say, hey, I really appreciate you? Now, I want you to feel into this energetically. When you're in the energy of appreciation, it is easy to be open, right? Excuse me. It's easy to be in that energy of, it's easy to receive, because I'm expressing my appreciation. What you're doing is you're literally exercising your energetic frequency expansion muscle by expressing appreciation. And I love the word appreciation, right? Because of course it even goes back to financial terms. If you appreciate, it means to grow. When you appreciate somebody, it grows both of you. So what does it take to be the person who's starting to be aware? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give yourself? Like 10 out of 10 being like, people are gifting to you, they're buying you holidays, they're buying you cars or computers. Are you able to receive at that level, or do you have a limit? Somebody came up to you and said, I just love you so much and I just want to give you a whole bunch of money. Are you able to receive that? Or is there part of you that goes into your mind, right, and goes, oh my God, I can't do that. That's wrong, right? For all these different reasons. Right? And again, right, this is often, again, you can see this is where we need to be in that space of unmeshing from what is a thought, what is a feeling, to be able to do that successfully. Because if you're stuck in your thoughts, and then they're contributing to those feelings, those limiting beliefs being like, that's wrong, or you can't do that, or, that's got to be immoral for me to receive that because that would make me a bad person and I need to be the person who gives, right? And this is often particular to women. You know why? Because women are often raised to be the nurturer, to be the carer, to be the one that gives. Now, ladies, I really want you to listen up to this. It's so important. Giving is masculine energy. Receiving is feminine energy. And this opens up a whole new world, right? As we know, there's been a lot of talk about the divine feminine, activating these energies. What does it take to activate this energy within yourself so you can receive at supreme levels? And a lot of that, right, is about openness, it's about ease, it's about grace, and it's also about vulnerability. It is about making yourself open. Now, here is a little bit of a tweak on this, right? Because it is one thing to be vulnerable in the space of a beautiful energy coming towards you, but it is another thing altogether. And this really is one of the definitions of enlightenment, especially in your intimate relationships, right? to be vulnerable, to be open-hearted. Vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Vulnerability creates connection. Vulnerability means I'm choosing to open my heart to you no matter what. Right? What does it take to do that in the face of maybe somebody's anger or somebody's hurt or somebody's pain? Now that's when we start moving into different states of enlightenment, because it was Marianne Williamson who said, right, that from the Course in Miracles, that we're not afraid of the dark, we're afraid of our own light, but also that we do not know somebody until we have seen their dark side, and we do not know what love is until we have loved their dark side. Because when you choose to do that for somebody else, you're choosing to do it for yourself. So what does it take for us to choose to do that for ourselves? And then we can do that for other people. And really, on so many different levels, open ourselves up to be an amazing receiver. A receiver of the breadth of life, the depth of life, the tapestry of life, the joy of life, the richness of life, because it is the light and the dark. When we can embody that within ourselves, we can become excellent receivers. We can be discerning. We can develop our intuition. We can become amazing manifestors. So I hope this information has been useful and beneficial for you. I hope you have resonated with some of it. Again, love hearing your feedback in regards to how you have found this. Now, of course, is to let you know that the Intuitive Abundance program is open. So I am going to post a link under this at a set time frame, which is I'm actually doing these videos in advance, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do in regards to that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post the link half an hour after this video is posted, right? So keep an eye out for it. I'm going to post the link. And why do you want to keep your eye out for it? Because there's going to be an early bird only for 72 hours, right? There's going to be an early bird special for 72 hours. Now, why would you want to do the Intuitive Abundance program? For all the reasons I've talked about, right? Which is to learn how to think. I know that sounds crazy, right? But to learn how to think in a way that serves you, right? To know what it is to identify your limiting beliefs and start clearing them. To start developing your intuition. What is it to live from those high frequencies of energy so you can experience more love in your life and your body. To learn how to feel your feelings and to really be in that space where you're choosing to live from your intuition and not your rational mind. And then, of course, when we combine that with knowing what it is that you want, and then being in that space of being an excellent receiver, you're doing all the internal work. Remember, like I said, 80% of what is happening in your life is determined by what is going on inside of you. Your relationship to yourself is the most important thing. Once you have examined yourself and then you go out into the world with the energy of I'm choosing to create my reality, amazing miracles will occur for you. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys in there. I hope you love all the juicy details. One big thing that you need to know is that there are going to be several live events, but the last live event is going to be held in Fiji. So this is really about putting your money where your mouth is in regards to showing up in an extraordinary way, about doing what it takes to change the brain wiring, to change, to activate your ability to create what it is that you want through the quantum field, and really to be in that space to know yourself as an extraordinary. If that sounds like something that's of interest to you, if you want to journey with me in regards to experiencing more joy, to experiencing the bliss of who you really are, please come join me in the program. Like I said, I will post the link in half an hour, so keep your eyes peeled for that because it will have all the juicy details. I do hope you have enjoyed the challenge. Many, many blessings for you for tuning in and listening and checking it out. Love to get your feedback and see your responses. It's always really good to see how this information lands for you. What tools are you using at the moment? Are they effective? If they're not, what does it take to take that quantum leap and jump into a space and into reality that completely blows your semblance of life? And just on the tail note of that, right? Like, I did a radio show a wee while ago, and I literally had to pinch myself because my life is so completely different to what it was even 7 years ago when I was working in banking. I had no concept of what was possible, but I definitely knew how I wanted to feel. So I hope you come and play with me in the land of co-creation with the divine. Sending you many, many blessings. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love. Bye for now.